Hello everybody, Ben Rogers here, the Raptors Digest, reacting to the Toronto Raptors 129-104 victory against the San Antonio Spurs, Ryker. And this was seeing the ensemble of Toronto Raptors starters all together, playing well, balling out. It's electrifying to watch, and we already have it. Send Bimmins, I don't even know how to say that, in the super chat. Coming in early with the super chat. Talking about what we have to start this video with, Ryker. Fred VanVleet, he's got to be an all-star this season, and we got to start the campaign right now. Oh, do you want? We'll throw the animation right.
Oh, I thought you were playing it. No, I was waiting for you. You said I needed to be quiet, and then you stopped. It was logical.
I was gonna let you ramble, but let's play it. Let's play it.
Let it roll.
If you vote for me, all of your wildest dreams will come true.
That's right. Vote for Fred VanVleet. You gotta vote for the guy. You gotta send in your go on Twitter, NBA.com, everywhere you see it. Go to Raptors Digest Twitter. We're getting that back popping to get the Fred VanVleet votes there. You can retweet that to vote for him from the All-Star game because he's been a monster, Ryker. 33 points, 7 assists, 2 steals. Absolute beast as of late.
Ben, absolutely. But you're excited about that. I'll swing back to Fred VanVleet. I'm excited about, I don't know where this is going to appear visually on the screen, but the Raptors are back at 500. After what seemed dismal and dark when all hope was lost and health and safety was running its course and the fans were ushered back home and people were criticizing your hot fourth seed take at the end of the season, Ben, we're now in striking distance of 6th in the East. We're only, I think, 2.5 games back of Cleveland, who's 5th. We're above the Knicks. We're above the Celtics. We're above the Hawks. We're above the Pacers, Ben. 500. 3-game win streak. It's a great feeling. I said I'd swing it back around on the back of Fred VanVleet, who strung together a ton of incredible games. The record for most threes hit in a 5-game stretch, Ben. What are you seeing from this man?
Well, you brought up the three-point shooting. The three-point shooting has been on another level for Fred VanVleet. The Flames are cooking. Fred VanVleet is cooking up the competition because he's out there getting, whether it be off the dribble, whether it be in the mid-range, whether it be step backs, whether it be those classic Fred VanVleet throw it high in the air and let it bank in, he's hitting them all right now. He's on a crazy hot streak, and it's not only that, right? We'll talk about Pascal Siakam some more, but it seems like ever since our starting unit, all of our core guys have come back together. Obviously, OG has struggled a little bit from the field in the last couple games, but they're all trying to sort of facilitate for each other a little bit more, make those dimes happen. And this season, we've seen Fred VanVleet elevate his game. You know, I've talked about on every pod, finishing around the rim, but also as a playmaker. And that's what you'd sort of expect with Kyle Lowry obviously departing to the Miami Heat. Fred VanVleet now as that natural point guard. You love seeing him coming in and be that leader on the court because obviously he's always been a vocal leader, but setting people up, doing the right things out there. Lots of amazing stuff, and all-star in the making, and should be like an all-star this season. That's what he is.
Well, vote for him. Play that animation one more time and let me know when I can start talking again, Ben.
If you vote for me, all of your wildest dreams will come true.
You gotta vote for Fred VanVleet, right? You gotta do it.
Vote for Fred. What's particularly impressive, you mentioned that he's being the court general. A lot of the offense is flowing through him. He's creating a lot of offense, things that he's done, obviously, throughout his career. But Nick Nurse, who's never been shy of trying different lineups, opted tonight, interestingly, Ben, I don't know if you picked up on this, to only really run 9 guys. 3 of those guys off the bench were our bigs, Boucher, Achua, and Birch, plus Champagny. Flynn and Banton didn't play in this one. 6 minutes, and that was in garbage time in the fourth when the Raptors were up by 30 points. Could this be the trend that we run really just a 1 guard or a 1 6-footer lineup? We have a core group of 9 players. That 9th is whoever's playing the best at the time, the Champagnes or the Bantons or whomever, right? But our core 8 is 3 bigs off the bench. Is that what we could see because guys like Scottie Barnes, Pascal Siakam, OG Anunoby, we're getting more confident in them to be the ball handlers and the facilitators?
Well, I'm definitely thinking Chris Boucher has played his way back into the mix as a guy that's a surefire rotation player. It wasn't looking that great there for a while, but he's been over the past really.
Your top 3 player on the team last year take was not aging beautifully.
My take on that.
Your top 3 player take.
I don't know. We'll have to rewind the tape on who was saying that at the beginning of this season, but I digress. I think Boucher is definitely back into the rotation, even though he was only 1 for 4 from the field tonight, missed a couple free throws. His rebounding, his defense, playing him alongside another big man, even, obviously Precious and Birch, they're not necessarily the biggest guys in the world, but, having 2 of them out there kind of takes the load off of Boucher to take, be around the rim, around those heavier set guys. He can sort of sneak in on the other way and swat those shots from the weak side, get those corner blocks. So I think Boucher's found his footing with the Toronto Raptors right now. Birch is also a guy that I think is for sure going to be in the rotation. We see Nick Nurse. I like what he's doing, subbing out one of our starters early to get a natural big man in the starting unit. Obviously, you got to start Fred, OG, Pascal, Scottie, and Trent because they're our best 5 players. But then you get Birch, you mingle the rotations a little bit. You let Scottie lead the bench unit, still being a starter, but still getting his stats, still getting starter minutes, but leading all the guys off the bench. I think that's a huge positive there. But as much as I've been spewing this propaganda, Ryker, Precious Achiuwa is probably the guy that might be least likely to be consistent minutes in the rotation because he's potential is dripping. He's all there, and he's dunking a little bit more, which I like, but his finish around the rim hasn't been that clean. And there's other guys off the bench competing for minutes. Svi Mykhailiuk, a guy tonight, Justin Champagnie, who's looking great. I could see us going more in that direction than potentially a Precious going forward just for this year in the big games that matter.
They've entered health and safety.
Yep.
That should be the end of it now. Almost everybody on the Raptors has entered health and safety at this point. Yep. So we would assume that what do you call it when everybody gets it? Yeah, the herd immunity or whatever has been probably developed amongst the Raptors. Fun fact, a little aside here, Joe Ingles, first player on the Utah Jazz entire team to enter health and safety. They were the last team in the NBA to have 0 guys. He's the first. You'd assume more to follow, but I'd agree with your point. I forgot that Utah wasn't in this one tonight. And in a typical game, he's going to get himself a couple of minutes before that burner 4th quarter up by 30 points. He's going to play when it matters. And Birch, I've 0 for 4 tonight, and you didn't even pick on him. Right? That's just because he looks better out there on the court. He's a little bit more active. He's boxing out a little bit better. Achiuwa, he's that Kenneth Faried motor type, but you're right. All our respect for him is completely driven by the potential that he flashes on occasion, but seldom consistently. So I would agree. He's probably on that tight rope of falling out of the rotation if he can't get his sort of performance up to the standard of Nick Nurse and being a big. They're bigs by position, but not by definition, I guess, because they are undersized, all of our big men, Ben. But this was promising. I don't want to go too far before we give out the Scottie Barnes Award in this one. I'll give the drum roll. You sound off. Lots of good performances. It's a real toss-up who's going to win it tonight, Ben. I'll sound it. You say it.
It's Scottie Barnes. It's Scottie Barnes, Ryker. It's Scottie Barnes. 11 points, 9 rebounds, 8 assists, a steal, a block, almost a triple-double. We saw Josh Giddey become the youngest player in NBA history to record a triple-double. I feel like that record gets broken every single year. It'll probably be broken by Josh Primo just because he's an 18-year-old and he's going to be younger than everyone at some point, but Scottie Barnes is he younger than Josh Giddey? I don't really know. I don't have those stats.
I'll fact check while you talk.
Fact check that. I was interested to see if he can maybe break that record, but Scottie Barnes just doing it all out there on the court and struggled with his jump shot early, right? They weren't really going down. It was, because on occasion, obviously the question mark coming into the season with Scottie Barnes was, will the threes, will the jimmies go down? Will he be consistent from out there? But, he's been way better than expected, but tonight Didn't really have it going from out there, but just decided, hey, I'm going to go straight to the rim. I'm going to start facilitating for people, getting offensive rebounds, doing everything else on the court as he always does. This is why he's a 30 plus times Scottie Barnes award winner, because he's just a beast. He's Scottie Barnes. He's the GOAT. He's got an award named after him. And I made a TikTok earlier, Riker, diving in deeper about the Franz Wagner being ahead of him in the rookie race. And this isn't a trash on Franz, but Scottie Barnes is higher than him in the stats in points, assists, rebounds, tied in steals, blocks. He's a better defender and on a better team. I have no idea why he's ahead of him in the rookie ladder. We gotta flame the NBA a little bit more for that.
People were less than hot that we said that on the last podcast, but we didn't give the stat by stat comp, which you just did, in that he is virtually better on paper and eye test in every single category. And while Franz is being hot, you're right. I would assume, never played in the NBA myself, but it's easy to have a couple of big number games when your team is so entirely young. There's not sort of that fixed order of who is going to score. Anybody's allowed to be that number one option on a given night in Orlando. Whereas, the ball's got to go through Fred. It's got to go through Siakam, OG, and Barnes still finds his way to be a core contributor on the team. Shout out Josh Giddey, though. Born in 2002, I guess the late bit doesn't matter. That would make him older as opposed to younger, but born in 2002, properly 19 years old. Scottie Barnes, full year older than him, born in 01. So wouldn't have mattered if he got that triple-double tonight anyways, Ben, but it is what it is.
Yeah, but Riker, we do have a super chat from Sen Bimmins coming in hot with the super chat tonight, saying, Riker, I'm loving the fresh cut. Boss looking clean. Buzz, buzz, buzz. Yeah,
Soft?
Boss.
Oh, boss.
Yeah.
Well, if you had to have said soft, you would have had that right as well, but I appreciate the compliments. It's a vibe when you have a little bit of facial growth, right? That's what I've been trying to figure out. Since I've got the line a little bit better, the short hair can come along with it, Ben. You're letting it grow. I'm keeping it tight and neat, I guess. And Ben, I wish I had a good segue, but unfortunately I don't. We might as well swing it to the segments.
Yeah, well, there was one final question. One thing in the chat. Okay. I know we don't want to go off the rails, but Patrick Hurley's asking what the Scottie Barnes Award is. And I see some people just complaining that, it's the Scottie Barnes Award.
This is a special award created. It's given to the player who's received the highest honors in a particular game. And the reason that the criteria is very vaguely defined is because you'll have certain nights where certain players, they go above and beyond in different categories. So we can't just go and say what it is, because it could slight guys who have better performances in areas that typically wouldn't get recognition. So it's just a very fluid, very impressive, very hard to attain award. And it just so happens that Scottie Barnes himself typically is the guy that's impressing night in and night out. That would be my answer, Ben.
Yes. The criteria is fluid. But it usually ends up with Scottie Barnes winning the award. But not every time. Not every time. But the other awards are a little bit more clear-cut, and we'll swing it into the next ones. And tonight, the Spicy P-Lay of the day. There's a bunch of spicy P-Lays in this one, Riker. Fred VanVleet was crossing people up, had some jelly on a couple of finishes, a couple of blocks that were nice. Did you have anyone that really stands out to you?
Ben, my Wi-Fi was so atrocious in this one. I was hoping you'd have something. You did not disappoint. I'm hoping you also have something for the OGs.
Well, not all plays can be the spicy P-Lay of the day, and some just make you say, oh, geez. And tonight, the OG's play of the day, it's going to Mr. Jakob Poeltl, former Toronto Raptor. A lot of people loved Yak when he was here. Just seemed like a cool guy. Yak and skills, obviously a dynamic friendship. We thought it'd be a bromance, but obviously we flipped Jakob Poeltl and DeMar DeRozan for Kawhi Leonard. And then Riker tonight, on his buddy, on his head top, right? Speaking of head tops, you got the buzz, I got the hat going. On his head top, we had Jakob Poeltl dunk on top of Pascal Siakam. Made me say, oh geez, can't do that to your Yak and skills bromance there.
I hear you, Ben. And
before the final, we do have a super chat. I don't want to go too long without the super chats. I know it's mid segment and all that, and it's from Christian Burton saying, "Sadly, Rookie of the Year and All Stars all about the true scorers. But do you guys feel like there's a shift in the league lately towards all around players?" I definitely agree. I think the NBA Reddit sort of mindset has seeped its way into like the Twitter sphere and all of that, and more of the mainstream opinions is all about those all-around players, which I'm loving, especially as a Toronto Raptors fan. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, you're given the most attention to plays that are attention grabbing, and I think we've had enough seasons now where people have scored and done nothing else that people are more interested now in guys that can do it on multiple areas of the court. That is an astute observation, and hopefully it results, or the voting committee that decides Rookie of the Year agrees with your point and picks the one and only Scottie Barnes, Ben. But I have an interesting one for you now in the one and only, now becoming ever more infamous, Paul Pierce Golden Kazoo for worst performance or worst thing of the game. And Ben, I don't know if you would guess this one, what I'm about to say, but I'm going to pick learning tonight that I'm not even going to remember her name. So this is going to go kind of contrary to my point. Is it Becky Hammond?
Yeah.
The assistant coach. It's Becky Hammond. Hammond.
Yeah.
All right. I was a little bit shocked to learn that she took a head coaching gig of the WNBA. She was brought up, she was pulled out of the WNBA coaching world space, whatever, as an all-star player and Hall of Famer in her own rights. And she came up touted as the next person, the first female that's going to achieve all of these sort of coaching accolades in the NBA. It's a little bit shocking to me that she's going back to the WNBA, that she hasn't found any other sort of roles in different franchises if the intention was to move up. And I get it, but I just look at Alvin Gentry being the interim coach of the Sacramento Kings, and maybe you don't want to go and take on such a nightmare as that franchise, but there's places that have, they'll bring in coaches who have been on like 6-7 terrible teams, and they give them another shot on another terrible team. What do you expect to happen? There's just going to be another dumpster fire. Give somebody fresh and new a chance. That was my thought of it, Ben. I'm giving that the Golden Kazoo. That's my rant.
Well, she signed with the Vegas Aces, who are a pretty substantial franchise in the WNBA. I know you're supposed to be the guy with the WNBA facts. You got to be knowing
that was a WNBA fact. She took the role, Ben.
That's fair. But it was a big contract. It was a good opportunity. Obviously, the head coaching experience, all that sort of stuff. She was real close to actually being the coach of the Raptors when we fired Dwayne Casey. I think it was her, Nick Nurse, obviously, and Messina, and Jasikevičius, the Lithuanian guy that you and I were. Good thing we didn't go with Jasikevičius. Well, maybe he would have been good, but that was the guy. I was Becky Hammond at first, and then we saw this Jasikevičius dude that would just be yelling at his guys during that coaching search. It's like a 30-year-old from Lithuania. We still had JV. I wanted him coaching the squad, but thankfully we ended up going with Nick Nurse. But definitely Becky Hammond. Hopefully. Well, she got a great opportunity, great coaching position there at the Vegas Aces. Apparently, she's a great coach. Obviously, we don't have the insider knowledge. She could definitely play some ball. But, Ryker, I think it's time. We also glossed over, I do want to say before we go completely off the rails, Pascal Siakam is becoming an elite all-around player. Might have to do a whole video on it. 18 points, 12 rebounds, 5 assists. Monstrous. And we kind of glossed over Justin Champagne's career.
All right, yeah.
Which is disrespectful. Champagne Poppy, 14 points, 5 of 6 from the field, getting buckets, looking like that guy. Obviously you were high on Svi Mihailuk. I'm a little bit up and down on the guys, but it's the Fiji water out with health and safety protocols. But he's looking better than Svi Mihailuk right now, in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, for rebounding alone,
yeah.
Did he grab boards tonight, Ben?
Looking at here now, 3 boards, rebounds. But he's always in there. He's always in there, just mixing it up a little bit. Same way Kyle Lowry used to.
Yeah. See, you just don't like Svi. And even nights where I feel like he performs fine, you tend to say that he didn't look good from the eye test. I'm higher on Svi. I think his mechanics are there. He's a fine enough player, but it's hard to argue that a guy with the length and defensive, prowess of Champagny is not as good as Svi. He's definitely on the same tier, if not better.
I don't dislike Svi. Don't get me wrong. It's just it needs to be more consistent. When you're a shooter, right? Because the thing about Svi, he's out there to be more of a shooter when he's playing with Fred and all the guys, right? But he's a decent all-around scorer. He can finish in the lane. Sometimes he gets a little bit, makes some boneheaded plays on fast breaks, but he's an all-around guy. He hustles on defense, so that's positives. But when your main role is three-point shooting, the inconsistency just breaks my heart. The same way T. Ross broke your heart, Riker, night in, night out. So it's my boy T. Ross with the sauce. Get him back on the squad. But I think it's time to go off the rails a little bit. I think we gotta get this alarm sounded. Woo 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 woo. Woo 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 woo. Beep 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 beep. Beep 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 beep. Woo 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 woo. That's right, the final alarm has sounded. We want to hear your guys' takes on this game. And as is tradition, we got 209 people in this live chat. Obviously, the post-game reactions get a little bit less views since the Raptors have been trash. But 200 now at the end of this one. Not trash. We tanked last year, and we're making our way back up. But, folks, how are we feeling about the Toronto Raptors right now? Hit the like while we read the questions. 1-800-Lunatic is saying that Svi needs to catch and shoot threes. Dude's always fade when he shoots. The old Matt Thomas effect, Riker, for Svg Water.
What was the Raptors' record last season? 27-45.
That's tough.
We have 19 wins already. We're only 8 wins away from tying last season's record.
To be fair, we were pretty good before the All-Star break. It was when we started overtly tanking. Optimized tanking squad that it was looking pretty bad. And Corey's out here flaming me for saying we aren't trash. You know what I'm saying, Corey. You know I'm the biggest Raptors homer, but relatively, especially last season, we're kind of trash. On purpose, though. Strategically trash for Scottie Barnes. 200 plus, love it. Scottie needs to. Mags is saying Scottie needs more shots and the ball in his hands. Yeah, you agree? Needs more shots. We say it on every podcast. 7 shots for Scottie tonight.
You know what we need to do is take the All-Star break intermission as an opportunity to compare the early careers of both Scottie Barnes and Jalen Suggs to date in the NBA. Just a little compare and contrast to see what we would have had versus what they would have had, just to inspire our fan base as to why we tanked last season.
Why is Jalen Suggs just catching strays out of nowhere from you, Riker? We put that to bed. We had the Suggs cake. It is what it is. But yeah, G is saying he had the ball a lot. Yes, he did. But we need to run some more stuff to get him some buckets, get him aggressive, do all that stuff. But did Scottie Barnes win the Scottie Barnes award? Yeah? Question mark. You know you don't need that question mark on that pod. You know.
Flirting with a triple-double,
yeah.
Might I add.
Exactly. But, yeah. Tomorrow will be a better opportunity to see who we really are. How you feeling about this Bucks game tomorrow, Riker? Healthy Toronto Raptors. We're looking nasty lately.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but the Bucks might have just lost the game where they had Giannis, a game that they probably should have won. Yes, they just lost against the Pistons,
really?
Which is the epitome of insults. Sadiq Bey dropped a clean 34 on their heads. Cade with 19.
Epitome of insults.
Josh Jackson, 20 minutes, 19 and a half minutes off the bench, scored 24 points. Milwaukee had Antetokounmpo, Holiday, Portis, Middleton, Allen, Hill, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I had most of their team there. Yeah. So they're looking to win. We're looking to win. Am I nervous? No. Am I brimming with excitement? You're gosh darn right I am, Ben. This is going to be a fun one tomorrow. See what time it is. Hopefully, I'm loving these early games.
8:30.
Wish every game was at this time.
Or 7 o'clock your time, please.
Unfortunately, 8 p.m. my time, so we're
8
going to be up and
p.m.?
at it tomorrow night. Yeah, so 9:30 start for the old Newfoundland, the East Coast viewers.
I'm getting my booster tomorrow, so I'm gonna be absolutely
You better take
sleepy
a mid-afternoon nap.
during. I'll hit up work, yo. I need to do my podcast. That's facts. But Kazoo free second half of the season for Raps. Love to see it. Spurs are poo. Yeah, Suggs is injured. Yeah. People are mad at the Suggs take. People are mad.
Well, listen, 26% from 3 this season.
Suggs?
Yep.
You're throwing
21 games.
You're throwing the
shooting
stray.
5 a game. And he came in as a shooter.
Suggs?
That's tough. Yeah.
In theory, he wasn't. That's what people were saying. But we said he was a shooter. We thought he was going to be great for the Raptors. But Riker, there's a couple.
We probably watched that one highlight of him hitting a 3, and then we assumed that that's what he's known for.
Don't give away our secrets, Riker. But Kevin's out here. Kevin Debater. Looking for a debate, saying, can't believe Riker was flaming on Fred so much earlier in the season. Whew. How does it feel to get called out?
Here's the thing. I stand by the comments that I made towards Fred at the beginning of the season, because when you're shooting 10 threes a game and you're not converting on at least 40% of them, it's tough to watch. When you're going into the lane and people are swatting at you and you're not even getting a normal shot up, you're not even challenging anybody at the rim, you're not getting a glimmer of hope underneath the basket. Of course, I'm going to criticize Fred VanVleet. All of a sudden, he's turned it around. Seems like he's putting up fadeaway middies off of an offensive rebound, banking them in. Right? He can't even miss anymore. So I'm willing to swallow my words if this is the turnaround in performance, Ben.
Yeah, but he's improved as the season's gone along as well. I've been supporting Freddie the entire year, but I definitely see what you're saying. I get where the criticism was coming, but we do have a super chat. We have a couple chats I want to bring up, but Sen Bimmons has been coming in clutch in this pod with the super chat, saying Riker definitely got me on the Scottie Barnes bandwagon before the draft. I never turned back. Before the draft. Was it you, or was it me on
what can I say?
On the
what can I say?
I thought I was
I'm ahead of the trends.
Scottie Barnes bandwagon.
I'm ahead of the trends.
Than you before the draft.
I'm ahead of the trends. Hey, who made a Suggs cake? Right? Who made a Suggs cake? I was saying the whole time. I was saying Suggs doesn't make sense. He is not the right positional fit for the Toronto Raptors. I said it time and time again. I said there's other players out there that would make more sense for what the Raptors have already on the roster. And they went ahead. They picked with the same mentality, Ben. Look how it turned out.
We'll have to but to be fair, both you and I were excited during the live reaction. We were both very hyped during the live reaction of the draft. We did expect Suggs, right? That's why I made the cake. But we were excited we drafted Scottie Barnes. But it is what it is. It is what it is. I remember talking to old Danny Loveless before the draft, being like, you know what, Scottie Barnes would be a nice pick. I kind of hope we go with him. I don't know if it was spoken on a podcast, but maybe I wasn't that brave. But El Trickster is saying a bunch of legitimate All-Stars for sure. In the Eastern Conference, Trae Young, only one guard in the Eastern Conference. He's forgetting DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine, who are guaranteed All-Stars. But would LaMelo Ball be ahead of Fred VanVleet this year in the All-Star game?
Yeah.
What's LaMelo's stats looking like?
They're probably not as good, but he's more interesting.
To the casual. To your average viewer. Yeah.
Of course.
But the coaches pick the bench, though. I know you always have to take the more exciting players, but the coaches usually have their eyes on the top guys. I think if the Raptors get ahead of the Hornets, we could see Fred VanVleet get picked by the coaches before that. So that's
well, read out the super chat and send Bimmons, and I will go through the standings here.
Yeah.
Do you see it?
So the standings?
No, the super chat.
Oh, the super chat. I got the thing paused on some takes. But, Sen Bimmons popping out saying, gotta give you some credit too, man. I'm getting sad for my Scottie Barnes takes. My love for Scottie Barnes. I think we were both ahead of the curve. People were roasting this pick. And then
all right, Ben, you count how many names I'll count how many names and you just say yes or no if you agree that they should be all-stars.
Okay. In the East?
Yes. Bear in mind, Chicago is first in the East right now.
Yeah.
DeMar.
Yeah.
Levine.
Yeah.
KD and James Harden just because of who they are.
Ooh, Harden. I forgot about Harden. Let's stick it to guards. Keep it to guards.
All guards?
Yeah.
So no KD?
Yeah, KD's a forward.
Okay, so DeRozan, Levine, Harden.
Yeah.
Giannis is a forward.
Mm-hmm.
Jimmy Butler?
He's been injured. He's been good,
Lowry?
though. Nah.
Lowry?
Nah.
No
Stats
Lowry?
Stats aren't there. Lowry's the GOAT, but stats aren't there.
Cleveland's good, but would they even have an all-star?
Probably not. Jimmy Butler's been out.
Probably not.
Maybe he gets in. Lowry, I know he does way more stuff and everything. Like, Lowry is a phenomenal point guard, but the numbers do come into play when you're picking for an all-star game. That's just how it goes, right? And they're not a high enough seed where they're forced to throw someone in there. So I don't think the Heat will have an all-star this year. Because Bam's out, Jimmy's been out too much, and then Lowry. There's too many good guards.
Well, as we're about to see, there's not that many good guards because Philadelphia would be Embiid, so that's no guards there. Washington, Bradley Beal will certainly get in.
Okay.
And then LaMelo Ball. If Lonzo doesn't make it in, I would... Who? LaMelo?
Beal.
Beal? Yes.
He's been struggling to start off this year. He's been great since he's come back and Dinwiddie's been out, but he's been a lower tier than usual. Bradley Beal is this year. I don't know his specific stats. But I guess he's leading.
I don't know his specific stats either, but I'm going to include him in there because the record is pretty good. Mm-hmm. 7th seed in the East. They're a game above 500. And then LaMelo Ball. And of course, you have Jaylen Brown on Boston, who's been fine stats wise, but then Boston can't seem to get together that team chemistry. So I'd say you have a solid 6 or 7 guards before Fred VanVleet gets into the equation there. But I think it's reasonable. I think Fred VanVleet. Oh, shoot. You got to go all the way down to Trae Young. You don't typically look down at the 12th seed for all-star spots, but I guess you're going to give Trae Young a spot?
I'm thinking Fred can get in there over LaMelo, over Beal, and over Brown. I think those are 3 guys that's realistic. If Fred continues this level of play, we continue to improve as a Raptors team, I think Fred VanVleet can get in there. Trae Young as well. Potentially if the Hawks continue to suck, but I think they've been ravaged by health and safety protocols earlier this season as well. I think they're going to make a little bit of a push back, and they just made the conference finals last year. Trae Young's not going to not make the All-Star game, but yeah, that's...
And I see, though, James Power saying probably both of the Ball brothers. I would almost agree with that because the Bulls have been so good. Typically, the best team gets 3 All-Stars, and LaMelo Ball has just been... What?
Not when it's, like, loaded.
Well, listen, they're top 4 team in the entire NBA, and they've been absolute highlight reels every night. It's been Lob City in Chicago.
Lonzo's not getting it.
Although I guess if they have 3, it would probably be Vucevic, to be fair.
Yeah, I don't think Lonzo's getting it. Like, they need to have 3 substantial. And
you could make an argument for him because he's been pretty good this season.
Yeah, no, for sure. For sure. I'm definitely not slandering Lonzo. Lonzo's a guy, but it's Fred VanVleet's getting it. We're making it happen. You know what? Raptors Digest, we're gonna make him be an all-star starter, so we don't even have to worry about that record.
If you vote for me, all of your wildest dreams will come true.
That's right. If you vote for Fred VanVleet, it'll change your life. All your dreams will come true. It's just what's gonna happen, right? So that's the positive stuff there. But if Lonzo gets in over Fred, I'm riding. That would be the biggest golden kazoo of history. Are you froze, or is this just... Oh, and your audio's not even coming in through right now. So it's just me talking to myself while Riker's there. I'm not even gonna switch the scene just because it's a funny look. Riker's got his Wi-Fi struggling now. He's got the Newfoundland storm. But 1-800-Lunatics calling for a like spike. For the Riker with a thumbs up, throw a little like spike in there for that. Yeah, the Bulls are very fun to watch. Bradley Beal's well. Okay, now we do have to switch to the old just me setup here. But Riker, that was a great. Okay, Riker's in my ear saying breaking news. We gotta sign off because he's not gonna be able to join back. But you know, the chat's been popping, the chat's been wilding. It's been a fun podcast, a fun day for the Toronto Raptors, getting a nice window back to 500. You love to see it for this Toronto Raptors squad. And guys, you're the best at making this far. Check out the Instagram, the TikTok, the Twitter, especially the Twitter now, because we're going to be posting daily Fred VanVleet updates. Go there right now. I posted a tweet saying that you can retweet to get Fred VanVleet a vote into this year's NBA All-Star game. So do that up immediately right now while you're watching this video. If you're watching on your phone, flip it on because this pod's pretty well done. But vote for Fred VanVleet, retweet all that stuff. We got a lot of fun content coming. Also, the TikToks have been popping. I'm plugging everything to end this off here. But you guys are the best. Check out the channel merch as well. Anyways, chats, it's been awesome. We appreciate you. Anyways, guys, I'm signing off. Riker's also signing off. He's saying cheers in my ear. So good stuff, folks. All right, make it back to base. And oh no! Maybe I should end it with all the animations playing each time.